You have to feel it. You have to feel the muscles because then they grow.
Mind-muscle connection is the most important thing. If you don't connect, you're not having any success. That's the difference between training and really training.
What is the mind-muscle connection?
Mind-muscle connection is the awareness of your target muscle during mind-muscle connection is the awareness of your target muscle during an exercise.
How would one know that they're getting a mind-muscle connection?
The mind-muscle connection can be detected via perception of tension. If you've ever been trained to carry all of your groceries into the house all at once and you feel a burn in your shoulders and traps, that can be mind-muscle connection.
Can be.
This perception of tension can be detected at lower rep ranges if you're training anywhere from 5 to 10 reps. This can be detected as a pain
and everybody has a pain inside
or burn in higher rep ranges, somewhere in 20 to 30 reps per set. And you may get a mix of both tension and pain and burning sensation in the 10 to 20 rep range.
I like the down. So mind-muscle connection involves an internal focus rather than an external focus, which would be thinking about the environment. So an example of this would be thinking about really squeezing your pecs as you do a bench press versus pushing your feet through the floor when you're doing a squat.
Using an internal focus leads to better muscle activation and superior muscle size gains over a long-term training period.
Masturbation does not hinder your gains.
This is generally more pronounced in muscles of the upper body and in isolation movements compared to compound lifts, like a machine bicep curl versus a straight-legged deadlift.
There seems to be a lot of bodybuilders that place a great amount of value on the mind-muscle connection.
One of the most important things of putting on muscle is a mind-muscle connection.
You want to contract. Right. Everything is about contracting. It's not about just pushing the weight.
While others don't value it as much.
Be very mindful that you're not going to start making progress until you've moved on to a bit, then overloading, and that's where progressive overload is still king. It always will be.
While they are correct, a high degree of tension can be detected when using relatively heavy loads, which is an indicator of mind-muscle connection. We use a combination of both internal and external cues, thinking about our bodies in space as well as the tension being directed towards the target muscle.
Tension. So I think a lot of external cueing helps lead to internal focus, meaning if you tell someone to focus on squeezing a grape in between the little crack of your arm, that's naturally going to have them be able to feel their biceps internally more. If you tell someone to squeeze oranges, I'm just a big fruit guy today. If you tell someone to squeeze oranges underneath their armpits to help them turn their lats on, I feel like that external cue leads to an internal focus.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
I don't know where I heard this, but I heard someone say, think of your lat like you have a wing connected from your lower back to your elbow. And that has helped me in my vertical pulling movements, being able to connect with my lats a little bit better.
So now for some ways that you guys can incorporate mind-muscle connection in your training.
Use internal cues or have your partner or trainer tell you internal cues.
Your mom doesn't love you.
Focus on squeezing this part right here. There you go. Focus on getting this short. There you go. Ooh.
Palpation by a training partner, while an external stimulus, may actually increase perception of tension in the target muscle.
Ooh, do it again.
I don't know when you say that.
So when ensuring an internal stimulus, you want to do your best to mitigate distractions. So that means turning off your phone or putting it in airplane mode when you're at the gym.
Get blood into the target muscle via high rep sets and an adequate amount of warm-up sets. While having a pump itself can be an indicator of mind-muscle connection, having a muscle swollen with blood may increase perception of tension, which may further facilitate more mind-muscle connection.
What?
When using a relatively heavy load without doing proper warm-up sets, you are more likely to feel the tension in your joints and connective tissues than in the target muscle.
So make sure that you do your higher reps early on in your warm-up sets to make sure that you're not overly fatiguing yourself for your later working sets. So another way to ensure a solid mind-muscle connection is to use a controlled tempo. Not only does dropping the weight put you at higher risk of injury, but it also takes tension off the muscle and decreases your mind-muscle connection.
And maybe try slowing down the eccentric and pausing if the mind-muscle connection is still poor in a movement.
Use proper technique to ensure that you are putting tension on the target muscle and not having it directed somewhere else.
It is important to note that mind-muscle connection is not the key driver of hypertrophy or muscle growth. However, it is a component that must be present for optimal results.
Like anything in life, mind-muscle connection can be improved over time with enough practice. Mind-muscle connection usually improves with training age and mastering the movements over time. When you first start doing a novel or new exercise, you may not get a good mind-muscle connection. But as you continually practice and make progress with that exercise, your mind-muscle connection is likely to improve. When you first start doing a naval exercise, you may find that there's junk in your trunk. So use proper technique. Come on down. I'm selling proper technique, 25 cents a prop.
Then we have an existential crisis mid-set.
Dick balls. So now that we've discussed the importance of mind-muscle connection,
Palpation by a training partner, while is an extra...
I flex and my stringers and my nips pop out and they say, "No nips allowed, sir." No nips. Show your nip, get a tip.
Indicator of a mind-muscle connection. Having a muscle... Jesus, dude,
Check out his hat, bruv.